So Lex Luthor is confirmed to now be coming from another universe. Jordan basically has no powers, and Lois Lane is now leaving the Daily Planet to go fight Morgan Edge in Smallville. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Sibz, West Coast, East Coast siblings, where we break down your favorite movies and TV shows. Today we are talking episode 2 of Smallville, and man, I'm still very, very impressed. This show continues to deliver with the graphics and the storyline. It's still very grounded and it's multifaceted, so there'll be a lot of storylines that we can follow. You'll see an episode with me and Sid reacting to The Flash, and let's just say my reaction was not exactly the same, so a link will be down in the description when that finally goes live. But let's start off. Before we get started, hit the like button, subscribe, click the bell, all that good stuff, so we can help build this community for our favorite movies and TV shows. Love to chat it up with you guys in the comments, as always. Let's dive in first with Lex Luthor. So there were these rumors about him possibly not being from our universe. This was something we talked about last week. And it's confirmed here. Lex is from another world in which Superman was bad. He was not good. And this reminds me very much of what happened in Injustice, where you have an evil Superman. I'm assuming the story probably went much like that. And now Lex Luthor is coming to this world, okay? And he thinks Superman is bound and doomed to repeat those same patterns. So this kind of gets into the conversation about Crisis on Infinite Earths and just how much effect is that going to have on this show. We have different probably things that we'll see show up in both The Flash and other DC TV shows mentioning what happened at Crisis, but I would assume it's probably not going to be too much. But Lex Luthor is definitely from another world in which Superman was evil. And so we're going to see that play out. And he's got this dog tag that says 7734 left to right, but if you flip it, it says hell. And there's this whole mantra that Lex keeps saying about going to hell and back. So that's probably going to play a more important role later down the road. But from there, let's talk about Jordan, right? So he went from being not important to important for like a day, and then he's not important again. So in the last episode, it was revealed that Jordan actually had powers. They had thought that it was remaining dormant in Jonathan, but turns out Jordan was the one who saved his brother and blast those laser eyes out at the end of the last episode. And so Superman takes him, Clark takes his son to the Fortress of Solitude, takes Jordan over there to get checked out to see, you know, how they can develop his powers. They're not letting him go to school because they don't think he can control his powers, and he can't. I mean, he can barely control his emotions. How is he going to control, you know, being able to rip things apart and stuff? So they go to the Fortress of Solitude, and Jor-El doesn't pull any punches. He's basically like, human DNA pretty much sucks. It's too limiting, and Jordan will never develop the type of powers that you have. Not even 1/100th your strength. Even saying that he probably is just a little strong for his size. So that's still within human limitations. Again, just pointing to the human DNA as being the reason why Jor-El says he will never be like you. And so Superman obviously takes this one to the chest like a kryptonite bullet, and he's disappointed because he plays favorites pretty easily. He was all over Jonathan in the last episode, and now since seeing that Jordan has powers, he's all over him, and it seems like he's not going to get his way either way, as Jordan now seems to not have powers. But come on, guys, do we really believe this? No. We're going to see his powers progress later in the season, but I do understand why they did this. It's just to help keep the focus on Superman and Lois for as long as they can. We know it's only a matter of time before Jordan develops his powers. And even Jonathan, I'm not fully writing him off either. I do think he'll develop powers over time, maybe season 2, halfway through there, season 3. By the way, congratulations, Superman and Lois getting a confirmed renewed. It's being renewed for the second season after just one episode. So the reception apparently was that good that it got renewed for a second season already. So excited for that. But from there, let's talk about Lois. She obviously has to do her thing. She's going to do her reporter thing. And she's getting into it with Morgan Edge, who's kind of taking over and buying different properties in Smallville. So at this time, when she left to go to Smallville, she didn't actually quit the planet. Remember, it was Clark who had gotten fired. And so she was, I guess, working remotely, which isn't that crazy in these times. But this was the final straw. One of her articles was rewritten, and, you know, Perry, I guess, wasn't in charge anymore. And so she's like, deuces, I'm out. And so she goes to work for the Gazette. Now, the Gazette is in the comic books. So for those of you who read the Superman comics and DC comics, the Smallville Gazette is a local paper, and now Lois is going to be taking her work over there and using the resources there to investigate Morgan Edge. Now, another one of her enemies, basically one of Morgan's little minions, is Kyle, who's Lana's husband and Sarah's father. And he is all for Morgan, saying, he's going to bring Smallville back, and, nothing's been done in this town or whatever. So, and I understand it, but Morgan is obviously manipulating Kyle and other Smallvillians. Did I just make that up? Smallvillites? I don't know. And manipulating them in order to garner new energies and stuff like that from the land. And so that's going to be something, it's kind of predictable. But thankfully, there are multiple storylines in this show, so we don't have to just look at that and say, oh, that's predictable, so the whole show is bad. I've still thoroughly enjoyed it. So from there, Jonathan is having some trouble. The varsity football team, basically, Jonathan was going to make varsity. That was the case in the first episode. But since what happened with Jordan and Sarah and the kiss and Sarah's boyfriend getting mad, trying to fight him and the whole laser vision thing, the football team is now against Jonathan, and they're making it a living hell for him to do anything on the team. And so, his world is kind of falling apart. He went from being the favorite son, supposedly having superpowers, to being none of those things. And I think that's something really interesting to watch for, because this whole time we've been looking at Jordan saying, oh, if anyone's going to turn evil or go bad, it's going to be Jordan. But now seeing the tables turn in such a dramatic way, in literally only one episode, in the course of one episode, all this has changed. Maybe Jonathan could end up being the bad one. Who knows? Either way, they're both like super power sidelined right now. They're on the bench. Their powers will develop over time, but nothing to be worried about yet. So they have a nice moment, and they actually bond. Jordan recognizes the sacrifices that Jonathan made in order for him to come to Smallville and do all the things that he's doing. And so they're able to make a bond, and then Clark comes in and he apologizes for not being there as a father as much as he should. And he says he's going to make that better. He's got to find a way to be a better Superman and a better father. So that's kind of going to be one of the story arcs we follow Clark along while he's looking for Lex Luthor. And wrapping up with Lex Luthor, he's got bots. So apparently he was one step ahead of Superman, sent in a robot. Lex has been looking for kryptonite all over the place. He finally makes it to the base where Lois's dad is, Sam, and there's kryptonite there, whatever. Superman comes in and jacks the mess out of this robot. It was real bad. And, he wasn't ripping his head off. He was trying to take the helmet off to reveal the identity. Turns out it was a robot. And so Lex is just sitting in his headquarters. He was one step ahead of him. And he says something about to hell and back. So the 7734 number, we're going to have to look out for that in the subsequent episodes. And let me know what you think that means down in the comments below. It obviously could mean hell, but I think it also is that number because they did make a point to flip it upside down. Also, before we wrap, if you're still watching, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and comment. If you're still here, become a sibling. Because we Sibz, that was weird. That was new. I may keep it. Anyway, so now Lex Luthor needs a new suit. He's basically, he's just regular Lex Luthor now. And we're starting to get to that boring part because Lex Luthor is one of the most tired, overused characters in all of comics. Right up there with the Joker. Just every single story. And Batman's got an incredible rogues gallery. Superman's got a ton of villains to fight. Why do we have to constantly go back to Lex Luthor and the Joker? And I was putting up with it because Lex had a great suit and, he was from another world and all these different things. But now that he doesn't even have a suit and the computer lady told him it's going to take some time, now we're just waiting with regular Lex Luthor. And I know he's smart. He's got all that brains and stuff. But listen, I never really was down for the whole ultimate brains versus ultimate bronze. I mean, Lex Luthor is arguably the smartest person in the DC universe, certainly immortal. And, Superman's supposed to have just all the strength. And so it just never, anytime the suit powers down or he loses his suit, he's literally like any other man in front of Superman. So there's that. Anyway, guys, let me know what you thought of this episode. I was thoroughly impressed, much more than The Flash, but we'll have the link to that. I'll put it up somewhere here once it's up. We also are doing Servant That's Thursday, as well as WandaVision. The last episode of WandaVision comes on Friday, so check that out. We're also doing The Walking Dead. That came on Sunday. They're doing a 6-episode run. And we're also checking out this new show on NBC called Debris. So take that for what you will. Sydney didn't seem to like it too much, but go and check that out if you want. Also check out our sister channel, the Lotta Quente Ledger, where we do a lot of other content there. I do a lot of tech videos over there, the Granted Geek Show. That's popping, so go check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching, as always, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.